we'll talk about One of Them Days, which was the last film we just watched now. That is Keke Palmer and SZA in their first roles together. Keke Palmer's not her first role, but SZA, I think that's her first movie ever.
I think so too, yeah.
And she did pretty good.
She was all right, yeah.
She was all right. Keke Palmer, she was great. I think she was a good main character. For what you could be.
She's Keke Palmer. I don't know.
Let's get this movie out the way, but One of Them Days is a comedy film. Yeah. And it really has like a lot. This is a film that's blowing up. Yeah. People are loving this film. Yeah. People are like raving about this film. I mean, it has a 96% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Really?
96.
Interesting.
Not just tomato meter, popcorn meter too.
Yeah, yeah.
Everyone is giving this film a almost perfect score.
I mean, it's really easy to digest. It's exactly the plot. The plot isn't hard to grasp. Decently funny. Yeah, decently funny.
I love the fact that, like, you know, we're watching every film, and we've watched every film last month. We're watching every film this month, and for God knows how long, right? So we watch a lot of films. But I love the fact that anyone can. Children, adults, older people, you know, whether you grew up in the hood, whether you grew up rich, anyone can go watch this film and laugh. Like, the whole theater we were in was laughing. So this is an everyday kind of person film. This is a mainstream kind of film.
That's exactly what it is.
That's why it hit off for a lot of people, because people, at the end of the day, why do you go to the movies? To be entertained. Yeah. And this film damn well entertained a lot of people.
It is entertaining, yeah.
It's super entertaining. And I'll give it that. I'll give it its flowers and everywhere for that stuff. This shit is funny as hell. It was super entertaining. But yeah, it's I wouldn't give it a 9.5.
No, I don't. Yeah, no, I don't think. It's just not. The messages. Okay, so something for like the Last Showgirl. And how it delivers its message is not at all the same. You know what I mean? Like they're very in your face about it. Like a few times, especially at the end of the movie, they're like, "Oh, you don't know your worth," yada yada. But they don't show it; they tell it, like, literally. Straight. You know what I mean? Yeah. There's just stuff like that where it
feels almost like a Disney kind of older movie plot line where nothing's going right, and then at the end, everything goes right.
Yeah, everything comes together. Yeah,
everything goes perfectly. And then know your worth. We're better than that. Cool. I didn't get anything out of that.
Yeah, it's just super simple.
It's super simple.
It's super simple. So for that's why like I said that, like, oh, okay, like I think this is not as good a film as The Last Showgirl. Sure. For me, you know what I mean? Sure. Super TikToky. There was so many cameos in there.
Oh my gosh.
Super.
Yeah. And they were good. I like the cameos.
No, yeah.
With Cat Williams, his character was funny. Lucky, his character was really funny. I think that might have even been my favorite character.
This is his boyfriend. The guy who bought the shoes, I think he's also another comedian. I can't remember his name.
I'm pretty sure he is. Yeah, he is. I've seen his stand up. So absolutely, the guy that bought the shoes, his cameo.
There were a few other ones.
There was a couple. The acting crew was great, and this was made by a black man. So this is a black creator, you know, supporter kind of film.
Yeah, you can tell.
You could tell. Yeah, you can tell. And it had a lot of like those kind of jokes, and it hit. Honestly, it hit. Yeah, it really did. I loved it. I mean, you grew up.
What? Grew up what?
I was gonna say you grew up black. I mean,
I grew up in a diverse neighborhood, in a diverse school.
Yeah,
yes.
So you know, you could, like, you know, say it kind of probably, you know, these jokes and everything like that probably was funny. I did too. I grew up in the hood in a lot of places. And my high school was the hood and where I grew up. I'm not saying I grew up in Compton or nothing like that. But you know, I've had my fair share. I played basketball. I did all these things. I know. And so for me, it was really funny too. And I had a good laugh, and it kind of reminded me about some things. So, you know.
Yeah, it was all right. The comedy hit for the most part. Yeah, there's some things that were just like too over the top.
I didn't care for the big booty bitch, whatever her name was.
Yeah.
Her, like, the mean girl.
Yeah.
I didn't like her character that much.
She was honestly, it was just like she was in the movie just to be in the movie. Yeah. Like I feel like there were certain things in the movie that just like were there to extend the runtime. You know what I mean? Yeah. Where it was like, okay, they got the money they needed, then they got it stolen by her. You know what I mean? Then they got the money back again,
And then
but they owed somebody else, and it's like, okay, like this is
it was getting super repetitive.
Yeah,
and they were also trying to throw like twists and turns at the film that just didn't land for me either. With like the love interest of Keke Palmer, where she saw an axe, and this guy, he went to juvie when he's a kid, and so they're trying so hard. Hey, this guy, maybe he's a murderer.
Yeah, she's not gonna date him because he's a killer. It's like,
and it's like, nah, that's you can just tell that's not the case. Right?
Yeah.
Now, my biggest problem with this film is the whole film could have been completely avoided if SZA wasn't just a dumbass.
It is, yeah.
It's literally her fault.
Yeah.
The whole film is her fault.
Yeah.
And if not, we can even go a step further. We're not blame SZA because SZA, she's cool, right? But her boyfriend, it's also like the entire film is because of Keyshawn.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Why? If this whole film could have been completely avoided if he just didn't exist, or if SZA was just any more
confident,
yeah. But through like nonstop was the stupidity just kept going. Whether she sent the picture, whether Keyshawn would just spend their money, and then all that stuff, and then whether they would chase people, or they would park at a place that says no parking, and then get shocked when they lost the car.
Yeah.
I mean, all these things. I was like, that's so stupid. Why are you that dumb? You can't just consistently be that stupid. And so Keke Palmer character, she was the only one that was like somewhat competent in the entire film.
Yeah.
Throughout the whole film. And her love interest.
Yeah.
And Cat Williams.
Lucky.
And Lucky. So I just didn't like that whole, like, to me, being stupid is not funny.
Yeah.
Being a dumbass is not funny. That's just being a dumbass.
Yeah.
And I find that annoying. So luckily the film was really funny and really entertaining. So I enjoyed it nonetheless.
Yeah.
But, you know, I don't know. I definitely didn't enjoy as much as other people. So, what would you rate that then?
I give it a 7.
7?
Yeah, I'd watch it again.
I would give that a 7.5 then.
You give it a 7.5?
I would give that a 7.5 just because we gave Last Show Girl an 8, and we gave Room Next Door a 7, or we give Room Next Door. I don't know. I forget. Whatever. I wrote it down here, but I can't tell. Again, my notes are horrible. I'm not going to keep showing my notes, but I think we should give it a 7.5 then.
I think a 7.5. I think a 7, man. I'm just not like
you're living with 7.
I think like it's just way too simple. It is. It's definitely not a movie that I can watch. I can watch it again,
sure,
but not again.
Okay,
you know what I mean? Like and like I can only watch it with someone else.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm not gonna watch it by myself again.
I feel like it would be a good film to watch with maybe your family.
Yeah, exactly,
or something like that. Because
with friends,
100% with friends, but friends that would understand it. Because I'm not gonna go watch this, with like, I don't know, a bunch of white people. Honestly, like that's
yeah.
The film is.
Yeah, you gotta be into with the culture.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
And so okay. Well, I'll live with 7 then. We can live with 7. We're gonna get 8 up on TikTok, just so you know.
Okay, that's fine.
7 out of 10 for One of Those Days. Yeah, I guess for us it didn't land as much as others, but it was super entertaining, super funny, and definitely go watch it again. Definitely go watch this film at least once. But it does lack some things for me to be super in depth and in love with it. So,
yeah,
I agree with you. TikTok's gonna hate us.
They'll be fine.